Welcome, young warriors, to the hottest and most brutal video on this channel. If you're here, it's because you have a voracious appetite for epic stories and incredible characters, right? So buckle up on your thrones because today we're diving headfirst into the life of one of the most amazing characters from A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones, Sandor Clegane, the Hound. Now, if you think you're going to find a kind-hearted boy with an angelic face, I'm sorry to inform you that you're in the wrong place. We're talking about a true badass, the kind of guy who doesn't need to comb his hair because his image speaks for itself. The Hound is tough, rough, and doesn't have time for frills, but he definitely is the kind of character that will make your heart beat faster. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones and you're between 16 and 24 years old, you've probably noticed that the characters in this saga don't mess around, right? And Sandor Clegane is the perfect example of that. He's not just a cookie-cutter hero, he's a complex anti-hero with layers. And that's exactly why we're here today, to explore every dirty and bloody detail of this iconic character. Are you ready to embark on a violent and thrilling journey? I promise it'll be a roller coaster of emotions. Together, we'll discover how this brute became the feared Hound and how he was shaped by the terrible events of his childhood. And the best part? We'll do it all with a sprinkle of humor because, after all, there's nothing better than laughing a little while talking about decapitations and epic battles. So fasten your seatbelts, grab your imaginary swords, and get ready for a healthy dose of blood, sweat, and, of course, a little bit of beer, because we're not kids here. Oh, and if you think you already know everything about Sandor Clegane, be prepared to have your mind blown with information and trivia you never even imagined. Now, without further ado, let's embark on this epic journey through the merciless world of Sandor Clegane, the Hound. But before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss a video filled with humor and knowledge about your favorite characters from ASOIAF and Game of Thrones. Now, let's get into it. Chapter 1, The History of Sandor Clegane. Welcome, young adventurers, to one of the darkest and most intriguing chapters of this epic journey through the universe of Sandor Clegane, the Hound. Get ready to delve into a story full of trauma, violence, and twists, with a touch of dark humor to tantalize your taste buds. Our protagonist didn't have an easy life, my friends. In fact, you could say he was kicked in the face by the gods from the moment he was born. After all, who could forget that burnt face that looks more like an overcooked hamburger? Ah, Hound, you truly are one of a kind. It all began on a dark night, in a sinister mansion known as Casterly Rock. Sandor, the younger brother of Gregor Clegane, also known as the Mountain, had his childhood marked by a traumatic event that left scars not only on his face, but also on his soul. The cruelty of his older brother haunts him to this day, but let's put that rivalry aside for now. After a tumultuous childhood, our anti-hero found a new home in the royal court of the Lannisters, where he served as a squire and personal bodyguard to Prince Joffrey Baratheon. Ah, Joffrey, the spoiled and cruel boy we all love to hate. And there was Sandor, the Hound, ready to carry out his orders and occasionally let out a curse word along the way. But make no mistake, young viewer, our Hound was not just Joffrey's lapdog. He had his own convictions and occasionally let a glimpse of humanity shine through the brutality. After all, who could forget that moment when he saved Sansa Stark from a terrible fate during the Battle of Blackwater? An unlikely hero? Perhaps. As the war for the Iron Throne intensified and violence spread throughout Westeros, Sandor found himself in epic battles and conflicts of loyalty. He was a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield, cutting down enemies as if he were slicing bread. Yes, young ones, that's the kind of skill you acquire when you're a bit, let's say, socially maladjusted. But what would a story be without a good dose of twists? Sandor Clegane, the Hound, who always had a reputation for being merciless and cruel, surprised us by showing his more humane side throughout the plot. His interactions with the young Arya Stark are true gems of humor and a reminder that beneath the rough exterior, there is a beating heart. However, as is the case with everything in ASOIAF and Game of Thrones, Sandor's life is not solely made up of moments of redemption. Tragedy continues to haunt him, and he finds himself in a life-or-death situation during the infamous Battle of Blackwater. Will he survive? Will his disfigured face find a happy ending? Well, my young heroes and heroines, only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Sandor Clegane's journey is full of surprises, intense emotions, and a healthy dose of dark humor to keep you from getting too depressed. So, get ready for the next chapter, where we'll dive deep into the Hound's bibliography and explore the differences between the books and the series. Chapter 2, Powers and Abilities of Sandor Clegane. Well. It's time to talk about the impressive powers and abilities of our beloved Hound, Sandor Clegane. Forget about superheroes with colorful capes flying in the sky, because this guy here is pure power packaged in a, let's say, not so pleasant package. First, let's discuss the skill that is the trademark of our anti-hero, hand-to-hand combat. My dear friends, when Sandor wields his sword, you better run for the hills because the carnage is about to begin. He is a true master in the art of slicing and dicing his enemies into little pieces. It's as if he attends Ramsay Bolton's cooking class. But wait, there's more. In addition to being a skull-crushing machine, Sandor possesses incredible endurance. This guy can take a beating like no other. Whether it's taking punches, being pushed off a cliff, or having his face burned, he always seems to come back for more with unwavering determination. After all, when you have half of your face looking like an undercooked pizza, you need a lot of endurance to face the world. And let's not forget his brute strength. Sandor is the kind of guy you want by your side in a bar fight. He has the ability to crush skulls with his bare hands and toss people through the air as if they were mere sacks of potatoes. You know those weightlifting classes you take to get toned arms? Well, Sandor probably doesn't take them, but he still has absurd strength. Maybe it's the result of an intensive beer lifting training. Oh, and we can't forget about his intimidating size and appearance. The Hound is a true giant. He has an imposing presence that makes everyone tremble in their boots. With his terrifying height and deformed face, it's hard not to feel tiny next to him. Imagine facing an angry and drunk giant in the middle of the night. I think we would shrink down pretty quickly, wouldn't we? Now, my young adventurers, get ready for a surprising revelation. Sandor Clegane, the Hound, also has a secret superpower. He knows how to swear like no other. Yes, you heard that right. His vocabulary is a true symphony of obscenities and curses that would make your grandma blush. He has an incredible ability to unleash a curse word at the exact moment to destabilize his enemies. Who would have thought that a well-placed curse could be so effective in battle? Now, my dear ones, it's important to remember that it's not all power and glory for our Hound. He also has his weaknesses. His fear of fire is well known and can be exploited by his enemies. After all, it's not easy to be brave when you're afraid of a simple flame, right? But even with his weaknesses, Sandor Clegane is one of the most formidable characters in ASOIAF and Game of Thrones. His combination of strength, combat skills, and endurance make him a force to be reckoned with and feared. He's the kind of character that makes us root for him, even when we know he can be a real, well, you know. Conclusion. And so we come to the end of this epic journey through the world of Sandor Clegane, the feared Hound. I hope you've had as much fun as I did during this exploration filled with humor and twists. But before we embark on new adventures, let's recap everything we've learned and celebrate the legacy of this incredible character. Throughout this video, we've learned about Sandor's dark and traumatic history, from his troubled childhood to his bloody battles in the Seven Kingdoms. He showed us that you don't need to have a pretty face to be a true badass. In fact, he taught us that scars can be the reflection of a strong and fearless soul. We discovered that the Hound possesses impressive abilities and powers. Whether in hand-to-hand combat, where he is a true skull crusher, or in his unmatched endurance, he is a formidable opponent. Not to mention his brute strength and unique ability to unleash a curse word like a true symphony of obscenities. Truly, Sandor Clegane is a complete package of surprising abilities. But we also got to know his weaknesses, such as his fear of fire. After all, not every hero is invincible, right? These weaknesses only make Sandor more human and complex, adding layers to his personality and making us root for him even more. And now, my young adventurers, all that's left for us is to thank you for joining us on this incredible and humorous journey through the world of Sandor Clegane. I hope you've had fun, laughed, and been moved as much as I did during this exploration. But this is only a small part of the vast universe of ASOIAF and Game of Thrones. There are still so many stories to be told, so many characters to meet, and so many twists to leave us in awe. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated on your favorite characters. And don't worry, my brave heroes and heroines, we're just getting started. Many adventures, laughs, and twists await us in this vast universe. So get ready, sharpen your imaginary swords, and embark on this journey with us. We've reached the end, but the fun is far from over. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, brave youngsters. Valor, which means all men must die, but the fun continues.
If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be here until next time.